A thunder of jets in an open sky, a streak of jay and a cheerful
Hi!
Welcome to the Aural Sects tour. I'm Kevin Smith.
Jason Mewes!
Kids, we are in the tiny little town that time forgot, man. Durango, Colorado. Give it up, folks. Land of the longest traffic lights in the world, fuck. Seriously, man, they got a real objection to you going up, man. If you're going that way, fine, but fucking, I waited in front of McDonald's for like a whole shift. I saw the employees go in and I saw them leave 12 hours later and I was still waiting at that fucking light. Kids, let me just, I always find it's best to be honest and stuff, so I'm gonna throw this all out there on Front Street. First show that I'm doing since the death of my sainted mother, Grace. Yeah, give it up for Grace. So no guarantees that I don't just start sobbing and shit, which is horrible for a fucking comedy show. So I'm gonna tell you a fucking story that happened to me on the way here, and hopefully it's funny and stuff. It was funny to me, but also really fucking irritating. So generally whenever I travel, if I leave Los Angeles, well, let me say this. Are there any federal officers in the building? Fair enough. This could be a fictional tale. Whenever I leave Los Angeles, for the last, ever since Los Angeles went weed legal and stuff, I have always traveled with weed. I remember reading an article online where they were like, LAX is like, we ain't interested in weed anymore and stuff, so like, we're not gonna be checking people for that. And I just, it's one of those things you're like, I wanna believe it. And so I just believed it. And sometimes faith is a great motivator, man. Like just believing that like something is true. So anytime I fly out of LA, generally I have weed with me, and the weed that I smoke all the time, I smoke this brand called Jeter's out of Los Angeles. So, So when I got to the airport this morning to go travel, generally I go right to the, what's it called, clear line.
Yeah.
But I came in a different door, so I had to go past like where all the plebes go on the plane and shit. And I saw a sign that I've never fucking seen at LAX before. It only caught my attention because it had a big pot leaf on it. And I was like, oh, they're selling weed at the airport now. And I got close, I was like, how liberal? And then I got close and I saw, and it said, anyone with narcotics in Los Angeles International will be arrested. This includes cannabis. Cannabis is a narcotic. So I'm standing there looking at the sign, truth just fucking me right in the mouth. And I'm like, what? Like, has this always been here? And then I got really paranoid because I was stoned. And I was like, maybe it just went up today. Because with this administration, you never fucking know. And so maybe they were like, fuck it, let's go after people now for that. And so I got really fucking freaked out. So I said, fuck, I gotta get rid of the weed. So I go out to my car and I get rid of like a federally illegal amount of weed. And then go back into the airport and shit. And I was like, fuck. So we traveled to get here separately and two planes and whatnot. And believe it or not, there's no direct to Durango. So when we got here, we drove in and we were running out of time and shit. And generally before the show, I'll have my weed. So even if I'm like, oh my God, we're running late, I'm like, hey man, everything's okay. That's missing, that element is missing. So we get to the hotel. First off, we're like, this isn't the hotel we're always at. Where's the fucking train? Are we in the right town? Like, we're all out of sorts and shit. And then we figure out we're in the right place. So I get upstairs into my room and I throw my bag on the fucking bed and I'm talking to Jennifer. I was like, I told her the same story I told you. I was like, can you believe you're not allowed to travel with weed? She was like, yes. You know, I was like, well, I'm not obtuse. Anytime I leave a non-weed state, I would never fly with it, but flying into it. And she's like, Kevin, you've taken so many chances. Like, it's probably smart that you did what you did. I was like, it ain't smart for the audience at tonight's show, I'll tell you that fucking much. Because I'm gonna be bitter as fuck. And as I'm talking to her, I'm going through my bag, and then I fucking find something. So, what happened is, a long time ago, starts booking this weed Jeters. Wonderful fucking weed. And last year, apparently I'd smoked so much Jeters, like I bought it at this one weed store I go to all the time in Hollywood, that the guy at the weed store was like, hey, I got a gift for you. And I was like, oh, you don't have to do that. And he goes, it's not for me, it's from Jeter. And I was like, what is it? And they gave me this like beautiful box full of fucking weed, but they had redesigned all the jars to have my face on it. And I was like, not only am I gonna smoke this, I'm gonna jerk off while I do it. Like, this is nuts. So, you know, I reached out to say thank you, and I was like, hey man, if you guys ever want to collab, as the kids say. And so it created an opportunity for a collaboration. And so a few months ago, I guess maybe it was back in February or something, yeah. Like we got to work with this company that like I fuck with on a really everyday, daily basis. Like, you know, there are very few companies that I'm like loyal whore to. Apple's one of them because I fucking use like my laptop constantly. I'm a writer, I'm an editor, and I work on this fucking thing. So it's a brand I believe in. Like, you know, fucking, this is gonna sound, it's gonna mark me as an old man because when I was doing the Dogma tour, I was in Washington, Seattle, Washington, and somebody goes, they're talking to me and they go, oh, you got those old man white sneakers on and shit. And Hoka's apparently are fucking, I had no idea that I was wearing fucking white old man sneakers and shit. So, but I love them because they're very comfortable and I spend a lot of time in the field, a lot of time walking. Plus they give me like 6 inches of lift and I'm short king. So I'm brand loyal to them. Very few things like Bamba, you know, the fucking like peanut butter treats you get out of Israel and shit. They're amazing and whatnot. They do them at Trader Joe's. They call them something else and whatnot. But they're like cheese doodles made of peanut butter. Fucking peanut butter, I'm loyal to that, but not any brand, just as a concept. But generally speaking, like I'm pretty brand loyal when something makes my life better. Jeter always did. So this opportunity to do a collab, I was like, this is fucking wonderful, man. Not, you know, just we're gonna get free weed out of it, but like this is a brand I actually fuck with. So they dropped the joint on Donut Day, and it was to celebrate National Donut Day. And it was a large ass joint, and it had a little sticker on it, and it said, you know, filled with Jay and Silent Bob's Blunt Man's Chronic. That was the name of the show. Jason got mad, he was like, next time it's gonna be Chronic's Blunt Man. Yeah. And I was like, that makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Blunt Man's Chronic makes fucking sense. So what had happened was, it was for Donut Day, you lit the joint, and the way it smoked, because it had like a rosin, you know,
noodle they call it, yeah.
That's rosin noodle. As it smoked, it created like this whole effect, looked like a donut if you were the person looking at it. I was stupid, I was like, it's gonna roll up like a donut, that's gonna be fun. They're like, not at all. So they sold very well, they sold out like instantly and shit. And so then the good folks at Jeter's were like, would you guys want to do a permanent SKU? That means like, you know, not just we dropped a joint for Donut Day, it'll be for sale anywhere they sell Jeters on a regular basis. My strain, the strain that I smoke on a regular basis, is called Milkman. It tastes like breakfast cereal. It's pretty fucking amazing. Tiny dog walker joints, they have 5 in a jar and stuff like that. I nail them into my fucking lungs and I write the hell out of things. So, you know, Milkman is the one that I go for. We would have our own strain. So I was like, fuck, this is a dream come true. So they invite us over to the Jeter mansion in Beverly Hills for like a tasting party. And I was like, what's that? And they're like, it's kind of like what they do with wine where you drink and then spit it out and shit. And I was like, are you serious? You do that with weed as well? And they're like, yeah, but we got to figure out what your strain is going to be. So they're like, we know you like Milkman. So, Milkman. So we figured we'd do that. And I was like, no, let Milkman be Milkman. I don't want to fucking take it away and shit like that. Fuck my white privilege. I said, Liz, we'll create a new strain. I said, we could use Milkman as the basis and then put something on top of it. They said, perfect. So they took Milkman and they threw 3 different flavor profiles on top. One was chocolate, so mixed with Milkman, they were calling it a chocolate milkshake in honor of movies. Then one was strawberry, same thing, strawberry milkshake. Then the third one, and I'm a strawberry guy, and you'd imagine I would lean toward that. Third one was a flavor profile I normally don't fucking go for, but I saw the comedic fucking value to it, and I was like, yes, banana. They took Milkman, they put banana on it, and it tasted like a banana fucking milkshake. I was like, this is fucking it. We'll put this out and we'll call it Jay and Silent Bob's Banana Hammock. And they liked that very much. So we were there testing. They brought us a big fucking plate of joints and we're in the backyard and shit. And everything's labeled. And so, they're like, this one's these are different sizes. You gotta test each one. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, I smoke it all the way down. I'm like, no, just light it, test it. And first, before we even lit it, they're like, just dry hit it. And I was like, what's that? Just inhale without lighting it. I was like, what's the fucking point? And they're like, flavor, turbines. I was like, come on, stop fucking around. Give me a lighter. So we light it, we take hits, and then, everyone's like, that's good. And they put it out and they fucking move on and shit. So by the end of this tasting session, the table was full of all these fucking joints that only had one hit to them. So when the meeting was over, I took all the fucking roaches with me and shit. I was like, you guys take care of it? They're like, no, go ahead. And we got real Jersey and we fucking took all that shit with us.
Yeah, not to mention they also had like their other brand, like straight vapes and like all sorts of stuff. So like, just take a couple of these if you want as well. And I was like, oh shit, what do I do? 2 of these, 3 of these, 4 of these.
Put an arm on the table, just like. So one of all the different banana hammocks that they gave us to smoke, there were dog walker joints, there were regular joints, and big fucking cannons and shit like that. And then there was a vape as well. So like, you gotta try that. And generally I don't fuck with vapes that much, I'm a flower guy. But that's what was in my bag. So when I was like, oh my God, like fucking, I was talking to Jennifer and I was like, holy shit. And she said, what? I was like, well, fucking, thank God they weren't really serious about that weed thing because like, there is a fucking vape in my bag. And she goes, well, that's fucking terrible. I said, no. For the good folks at tonight's show, that's fucking good. So, fucking, I went outside into the parking lot and walked around talking to Jen, hitting this banana hammock vape, which tastes like banana runts. Like, as I'm smoking it, Jennifer's like, what's the, vaping it? And she's like, what's it like? I was like, it tastes like a happy childhood. So that's where I am right now.